Hey friends, this is the Mrs. Volfie from Our Half Acre Homestead, and today we're going to make grape jam. Now, as you can see, these are the grapes that my son picked for me from the trellis outside of the house where he lives. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I am de-stemming the grapes. Now, these are actually really beautiful grapes, but they're not Concord grapes, and we're not huge Welch's grape jelly fans, so jam seems to be the only alternative. Now, because there's lots of seeds, I thought about raisins, but the thought of picking out 2 seeds out of every one of these little grapes was just driving me bonkers. So right now what I'm doing is I'm taking them off the stems. You don't want any rotten or blemished fruit. I'm just taking these off the stems, even the small ones that are not ripe. Now, you don't want them to be fully ripe, because if you wait till they're fully ripe, all the birds and squirrels and stuff in the neighborhood are going to eat them before you can get out there. If you think they need 2 more days to go to fully ripen, then you pick them that 2 days before they're fully ripened. Now, it doesn't matter if there's a few little stem ends in here, because right now we are just going to cook these in a double boiler for a little bit, just until, you know, we get the juice and the pulp separated. These are going to be put through a strainer, so we're not going to worry about the seeds or the stems, the smaller stems, just yet. Okay, here are my grapes. Like I said, you know, there's going to be little bits of stem ends. I'm not going to worry about that right now, because these are going to be pressed through a sieve. I have them in one of my canning pots that has a rack in the bottom and water, so we have a double boiler effect so we don't scorch anything. And now I'm just going to cover these grapes with just enough water, just till you see the water come up through the grapes. And we're just going to simmer these until the pulp and the skins and the seeds separate from the pulp and the juice. Here are our grapes, and the foam is red, and the grapes are soft. So now what we're going to do is we're going to strain. So I'm just going to put a stock pot here with the strainer in it, and we're going to strain. Now, this wasn't that fine of a mesh, so now we're going to take our bowl, put a smaller strainer in here with a finer mesh. I didn't use it originally because it wasn't big enough. I'm just going to start pressing the pulp and the juice through this sieve. This is going to have to be put through a fine mesh sieve. For now, this will do the job. And yes, folks, all this stuff is going to be saved for the pigs. Okay, so when I have the pulp and the juice put through another sieve, we'll be back. Okay, I have put the juice and the pulp, or some of the pulp. If you don't want pulp, you want to clear like jelly, then go ahead and put it through a finer mesh strainer or a jelly bag. But I like some pulp, so we're going to call this jam. We're going to cook this down a little bit longer. This is going to be organic jam. It's made with organic grapes. It's going to be organic sugar, and this is spring-fed well water. All right, so when this cooks down a little bit more, we'll be back. Well, you can see by the line that my juice and pulp has reduced down about, you know, almost half. So let's move along here. First off, I have to measure the juice, because we're going to add equal amounts of sugar to the equal amounts of juice. So we're going to say 12 cups of our juice. Now we're going to measure out 12 cups of sugar. This has to come up to a boil first. Okay, now I forgot that I had my homemade pectin from 2011, and I'm going to go ahead and add 1 cup of that into our grape juice. I don't think this pot is big enough. Okay, I've gone ahead and divided this into 2 pots for 2 reasons. I remembered, not a moment too soon, that you can only do jelly and jams in like 6 and 7 cup increments, and I'm pushing it. I think I have 8 each here. Now I've washed my jelly jars and rinsed them, and they're baking in a 215-degree oven, and I've got my lids over on another burner simmering, and as soon as this sheets off the spoon, we'll start bottling. Okay, our other pot, the second reason I divided these is you want your juice to come to a rolling boil, your juice and sugar, and that's a boil that you can't stir down, and that's what this is doing. So, and if I had all this in this pot, it would just be boiling all over the stove. So we're going to boil it hard, like this, for 1 minute. See how those droplets run together to form one big droplet. See that? That's sheeting from the spoon. That means we have reached gel stage. All right, let's get bottling. I'm going to pour these right into a hot jelly jar to a 1/2 inch from the top. Always, always wipe the rim of your jar. Fresh lid. Now you don't actually have to boil bath these because the jars are hot, the lids are hot, and the jelly is boiling. But you know what? I'm going to do it anyway just because it takes us a long time to eat jam. So I'm going to put these in a boiling bath canner. Okay, here they are in the canner. Now this is one of my pressure canners, but I use it for boiling bath too. I just put the rack in the bottom. And I have 10 half-pint jars in here, and we still have this much to go. These, because the jars were baked at 215 degrees, and because the lids were hot, the jars were hot, the jelly was hot, these only have to be boiling in here for 10 minutes. All right, so when they're all done and my job is done, I will show you the results. So here they are. I got 14 half pints. I got a 1/4 pint, and there's a full pint that's going in the fridge because, well, it's self-defense so that Daddy doesn't just open one of these after I've canned them. So I didn't can this one, I just poured it in the jar and it's going in the fridge. Here is a little bit that I saved so I could show you, because these are all still hot. They'll remain liquid until they cool down. Here is our, here is our lovely, lovely jelly. I'm going to enjoy this. Really good. It doesn't have the tang of Welch's because they're not Concord grapes, but it's still really good. This is the Mrs. Volfie from Our Half Acre Homestead saying, never let an opportunity go by when someone says, geez, take all you want.